Good morning, it is Tuesday and it is a new weekly reading vlog. Yes, I said Tuesday. For the first time in a while. I forgot to start my vlog yesterday. I am quite annoyed with myself. Totally forgot to start the vlog. I got caught up editing. Oops, knocking stuff over apparently. I got caught up editing and totally forgot to start the vlog. So here I am starting the vlog today. I don't really have much to say. It is first thing in the morning, so I don't have the blind up because the sun comes up like here, so it cuts right into my face. So I need to keep the blinds down first thing in the morning, which is unfortunate because I like getting sun first thing in the morning. But I'm just getting ready for work. I am already dressed and, well, mostly dressed and ready to go. I just need to finish my tea. I've had my breakfast. I just need to take my morning meds, drink my tea, brush my teeth, maybe go over my hair with a brush again, and I'm ready to go. Physically at least, mentally, maybe not so much. I'm so tired. The work that's going out the back, they keep starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're not meant to start at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're not meant to start until 8 o'clock in the morning. So they keep waking me up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been working with the sleep training thing, sleep coaching on my watch to like get like a set sleep pattern. Like I've been working on trying to set my sleep pattern up and they've just messed it up again. I know it seems really stupid that it's only 7 o'clock in the morning, but like see when you're rudely awoken an hour earlier than you need to be, it throws everything, like it annoys me. So like being woken up and immediately going into like annoyed because you're being woken up by machinery being driven back and forward underneath your window that's not meant to be there. It's annoying. Like I understand they need to do the work, but legally they're not allowed to start until 8 o'clock and they're starting at 7 o'clock on the friggin' dot. And it's really quite annoying. And I know they're meant to start at 8 o'clock because the company I work for, we had an email, one of our clients were starting, somebody was starting work basically or they worked on a bank holiday or something. They started work when they were working when they weren't meant to be working, and so the council had gotten a complaint about it. And the council contacted us because they didn't have their details to be like, could we have their details to tell them that they shouldn't be starting work, or they shouldn't be starting work before 8 o'clock. Like, here are the times they're meant to be working in. They're not meant, like, blah blah blah, but like basically here are the constraints of how they're meant to work. Here's the legality of noise complaints and blah 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 blah. Can you please like give us the details so that we can basically slap them on the wrist about it? And so, the construction companies know. They know this. This is their job. So they know they're not meant to be working, and they're doing it anyway. It's different when it's like construction places where there's no dwellings in the area, but because they're right next to houses, they're not meant to be working that early in the morning. And they probably think, oh, this is like a family area, people will be getting up with the kids, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not. Not all of us. I don't start working until 10 o'clock. I'm not up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, my alarm goes off at 7 o'clock in the morning, but my 7 o'clock alarm is to wake me up to take painkillers so that I can get, like, a sleep. An hour's nap before I wake up. Anyway, that's by the by. I read the rest of Immortal last night. I totally forgot about this book. It's one of the ones I've only read once. Really enjoyed it. I was thinking about this book this morning, which is partially why I remember to vlog, and it was like a juxtaposition. It made me think of a juxtaposition of Twilight. So in this there are life mates who are a same-sex couple. Like this is the second lot of same-sex couple life mates that we've seen. Unfortunately in this they are the bad guys. Rather than Francis and Russell, who are the good guys in the other books. And just saw me as like a juxtaposition to Twilight, and it made me think of Twilight in comparison to Lindsay Sands in general, and it just made me think of the way Lindsay Sands writes her characters. So in this book we have Magnus and Ali, and Ali years ago had befriended Stella, her neighbour, who turned out to be an immortal, and she was pregnant at the time. She'd been captured by Abaddon, who is a rogue, and she was turned and then impregnated by her husband, who turned out to be Abaddon's life mate, and she escaped, or she thought she'd escaped. Turns out they were just like, they didn't want to raise a baby basically, so they were just like, let her think she'd escaped and let her raise the baby while she was on the run basically. But she didn't know that. But yeah, so she befriended Stella, and one night Stella realised that these guys had come for her, and so she gave her the baby, gave Ali the baby, and like blew her house up, killed herself basically, to make it look like her and Liam had died, and Ali went on the run with Liam. And so Ali raised Liam as her own, as her child, as his mum, and then when the guys find her, and Magnus, who's her life mate, Magnus and Tybo save her, the whole life mate thing starts, and they try and keep her away from her and Liam away from Abaddon by taking her to Port Henry, where it's like Port Henry's like the hub for these mortals at this point. We get back to Elvie and Mabel and Teddy and Patricia, Victor, DJ, it's Harper and Leonora, and all the characters we've not seen for ages. It's great, I love it. It's so nice to see them with their families and see them like years and years later when we've, you know, we from where we left them off, and see them doing so well and be so happy. And this book highlighted so much about how Lindsay Sands sees families, because Ali and Magnus they choose to raise Liam, they choose to have Liam as their son, and they choose, and like Elvie and Mabel and Teddy and their families, they choose to be family, they choose to take each other on as family, despite the fact that they're not blood related. Like, Ali is Liam's mum, like the whole time through this she is fighting, she is his mother, despite the fact that she did not give birth to him. And even like from the minute Magnus meets them, like he knows how important Liam is to her, and then like when it comes down to it, he's like, right, okay, well, if something was to happen to Ali, I need to protect Liam. Like, he's now my responsibility, because he is her son, I'm her life mate, therefore I am now his guardian. Like, I will look after him because he is the most important person in the world to Ali, so therefore he is now the most important person in the world to me. And like, Liam asks him if he's now his dad, because Liam's only 4, he doesn't quite understand what's going on. He's like, does this mean you're my dad now? And he's like, if you want me to be. And he's like, yeah, I've always wanted a dad, like, and I really like you, so I want you to be my dad. And he's like, well, if you want me to be your dad, then I will be your dad, like, if that's what you want. And like, even later, like at the end, when they have another baby, like when they have another baby, like in the epilogue, when they have another baby, then it's not just like, oh, this is our baby, and Liam is like our foster child or adopted child, or like, he is their son, and this is their second baby. Like, that's how it's referred as, their second baby, despite the fact that neither of them had anything to do with his like biology. Like, he is their first child, and he will always be their first child, and that is the way that like, families to them are just the people you decide are your family. And then as well, like Abaddon and Stephen, who are the bad guys in this, they are life mates, and they are a same-sex couple, and the nanos don't give a flying fuck if you are a same-sex couple or not, if you can produce more children or not, which is a point, like, it is a point to be made that I'm going to get to. They don't care if you can further your line. They just are like, you're so perfect for each other, we're going to make you a couple. And so that's what, again, like, that's what made me think of Stephanie Meyer and of Twilight, because there's a bit, spoiler if you haven't read all the Twilight novels, by the way, there is a thing with the wolves and their imprinting, and when Leah is so upset about her becoming a wolf because it completely stops her menstrual cycle, it completely stops her entire reproductive system, and until she is no longer a wolf, she can't have children, and she will never imprint on anybody, because what is the use of a female wolf who can't have children? Like, she's frankly useless. That's my alarm going off. She is frankly useless as a breeding wolf, she's frankly useless. Her words, I'm not paraphrasing, but she's useless because she can't further the line. So the male wolves can imprint because they can impregnate someone, but the female wolves can't get pregnant, so they can't imprint, so they can't have that thing, which says a lot to me about how Stephanie Meyer sees families. And the comparison in Lindsay Sands and Stephanie Meyer that way, and how they see families and stuff, just is so stark. I always say, these Lindsay Sands books are nowhere near perfect. They are formulaic. I know exactly how things are going to go. But the story, the characters and the sort of morals and stuff like that she has in these books are unparalleled. And I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's my Tuesday morning thoughts as I now run myself late for work because I need to chug this, you can't see it, this mug of tea. So yeah, I will speak to you later. Hello. It is Tuesday. I am back from work. I am still dressed because I just got back from work. And I'm thinking about filming in this outfit, so we shall see. I need to get myself some lunch and I need to stab myself. They finally got my medication in for I use the depot injection thing, but they have like an at-home version, so I use that because they don't want to have people in having nurse appointments and stuff like that, so they give you like an at-home version that you can do yourself. So I just do it myself, and I also talked them into giving me a sharps bin because I've not had one, and I've just had to put them in the bin, like close them and put them in the bin. It's a really teeny weeny little needle, so it's fine. It's not fine. I don't think it's fine, but the doctors are like, it's fine. But the pharmacist agreed with me that I should have a sharps bin, so the pharmacist gave me a sharps bin, which is nice. So that's that done for another 12 weeks. Sorted. But I also got some book mail. So I got Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This is it was a KU book and it was self-published, and I got it's now been picked up by a trad publisher. This is Simon Schuster has been picked up by. So it's been sort of slightly rewritten, edited, that sort of thing, and repackaged and republished. So this is the new cover. It's very similar to the old cover. It's just sort of been neatened up a little bit, and this is the UK paperback edition. The US got it before us, obviously, because why not? And there have been some changes made, so I will be rereading this at some point, because there have been some plot holes closed, and things like that, which Peyton has confirmed herself. This is the book where I was saying a few weeks ago, where I was like, I have so many questions, I need answers, and I was like, I'm speaking to the author, she says they've been fixed. This is the book, so I will be rereading this to get my answers. But also, this is the one I was talking about, where it's the ice hockey player and the figure skater, and he has the bad, traumatic brain injury and has a lot of anxiety and stuff like that, and I just love this book, so I'm very excited to see it, with hopefully the editorial input that it deserves. I am not 100% convinced though, because lately Simon Schuster have been, in my opinion, a little bit lazy on the editing. I've picked out a few of their books where I've been reading it and gone, has an editor actually bothered to look at this, or have they just spell checked the first draft and gone, yeah, that'll do? Because Simon Schuster are not giving their authors the attention that they need if what they're outputting is what they're outputting, in my opinion. But yeah, so we shall see. Hopefully Peyton has had better treatment than some of the other authors. I'm excited to read this and see how she's gotten on. I mean, our original draft, the KU, like, self-published draft was great anyway. There was only like a couple of bits where I was like, you need to tighten this, up. But for it to be indie published, and for only to be like a couple of bits where it was like, you've dropped a little thread here, totally fine. I mean, there was one thing where I was like, I need to know, but like, that was, it's fine, she sorted that out. So yeah. Oh, he's a big sigh over there. Big sigh. And the other thing is the new Emily Henry. Funny story by Emily Henry, and it's the Waterstones edition with the ombre style edges. I'm not sure, it's not picking up on the camera the way it ombres properly, but it does look very nice in real life. I am sick, absolutely sick, that it's got a Colleen Hoover blurb on the front. One of my favourite authors. Okay, Colleen Hoover. Like, you've got Ali Hazelwood, V.E. Schwab, and Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Colleen Hoover. And the two that you put on the front cover are Taylor Jenkins Reid and Colleen Hoover. When you've got Ali Hazelwood and V.E. Schwab right there. I mean, it might just be my personal opinion, but when you've got two authors who have had public controversies and two authors who have not had public controversies, I would reverse the order in which you put them on the covers of a book you want to sell. I'm just saying. You know? Anyway, But yeah, so this is, I believe, I didn't even know what this was about, but it's about two characters who end up together after their respective partners cheat on them with the other. So like his girlfriend cheats on him with her boyfriend, and they end up together, and then these two end up together, I think. Like, I didn't even know that. It's just that I know people who don't like cheating in romance, and that immediately put them off. So I found out through that. So I found out the synopsis through other people not wanting to read it. So I didn't even know that. So sorry if you didn't want to know. But yeah, oh my god. I was totally fine with everything about this book. I wasn't even remotely bothered until I looked and saw this motherfucker Crocs on. And then I opened it, the Crocs. Like, why were the Crocs? Like, this is the only thing I have a problem with, is the Crocs. Anyway, I'm really excited about Emily Henry because I feel like she does these in-depth, more like painful topics really, really well. Happy Place. I was going to say Happy Ending. Happy Place destroyed me. And so I feel like with Funny Story, it's not just going to be like... I feel like it's not going to be like, oh, they cheated on us in the past, and like, da-da-da. I feel like there's going to be like, you're going to get the painful element of the cheating as well. And then if that's... I don't know. We shall see when I read it, but I'll probably be dropping everything to read this pretty soon because Emily Henry is one of my favourite authors of all time, which is why I, picked up this copy of a hardback of a romance novel, because normally I prefer paperbacks, but one, ombre, sprayed edges, two, get to read it sooner, and I don't like buying full price Kindle copies, like ebooks. Ebooks don't, one, trigger the same dopamine release as physical copies of books do, and two, Amazon have this thing where even if you buy an ebook at full price, at any point in time, if they want, they can just take it off you. It's in their terms of service. They can just take it off you. You don't own that. They can just take it off you. So I would rather have physical copies that, like, it's not like somebody from Steve Jobs or whatever, whoever it is that owns, is that the Apple guy? Or is that the Amazon guy? Whoever the Amazon guy is, can't just, like, knock on your door and take back your books. Like, Waterstones isn't coming to my door and taking my books back. Once the physical copies are in your hands, they are your books, and nobody can take them away from me. The ebooks, they can take them away from you. And I'm pretty sure it's probably the same for the audio versions as well, which is frankly disgusting, and I'm pretty sure they're going through litigation at the moment because of that behaviour. So yeah, just so you know, if you buy ebooks from Amazon, they can't just take them away from you, even if you've paid. It doesn't matter what you've paid, they can just take them away from you. You didn't buy that. Same with the like Prime stuff as well. Like if you've bought a movie on Prime, they can just take it away from you. Who knew that? I did not know that until I found out about them going through litigation about it, which is wild. Anyway, I have printed off my May the TBR. I've been calling it May the TBR Read With You. I think I'm mixing up two different, what have I done? Two different readathons, because Erik is also, doing a Star Wars themed readathon in May, because obviously May is Star Wars month. So Erik from Brookhaven Books and Becca from the Becca Fowl are both doing separate Star Wars themed readathons, and I think I'm crossing over both of the different names to make up my own name. I am currently only doing Becca's. I've not had a chance to look at Eric's. I've only just seen the announcement video, whereas Becca's I've known about it for a while. Like, I'm friends with Becca, I've known about this for a while, and so I've had more of a chance to get my head around this one. I've done most of my planning for this one. This one is much easier to plan my TBR around. What is going on? Plan my TBR around, so I'm going to stick to doing this one and then retroactively fit my TBR onto Eric's, is what I'm going to do. That's what I've done in April this month for William. So I have been using Tomes and Treasures for the base mark, the benchmark for my TBR. I worked my TBR around my Tomes and Treasures character build, and then I will retrospectively go back and see what prompts my TBR fits into for William. Instead of trying to like balance two. I've done that before and I can't do it. I can't juggle two readathons when I'm trying to do, like, when I'm trying to make it both work at the same time. I need to, like, complete one and retrospectively go back and make, like, it slot into the other. Usually I can, but this year Aurelium's prompts have been quite specific, I think. But we shall see. They're general but specific, I say. I don't know. Anywho, I'm going to go and get something to eat because my stomach feels like it's about to jump out and eat me, the remind itself. And I need to get some... I would like to get some filming done. If nothing else, just my... If I do my rolls, I might as well do this TBR is going to be filmed in 4 parts because I filmed my rolls for my planets. I filmed my jar pick. And I need to film my actual rolls, and then I need to film my actual TBR. So what I've done is I've done my rolls. I know which planets I need to get to. I've got a book for each prompt for each planet, for the prompt I've chosen for each planet. And now I need to see if I can get there to get that book that I want to read. And if I don't get there, I'm going to have to do a punishment. And we'll see how I do on my TBR video. So, oh my god. No, it's fine. I was just going to say I didn't get Funny Story on my TBR, but that's fine because I plan to read Funny Story this month. It's my next book. It's my next read. I've just finished a book, and my next book to read is Funny Story. So that's fine. I need to get it onto this next month's TBR because it's on this month's TBR. I'm gonna go.
Hello. Decisions have been made. It is Tuesday. And I have decided that I need to read. Well, I've just finished the +1. And I also still have to read Poison Study, which is upstairs. Walk in Sunshine, and Funny Story, which obviously just arrived today, which totals is like 1,467 pages, I think. But I've just finished this. I have 8 days to finish them all. And considering that's like 184 pages a day, and I've just finished a 300-page book, I'm well on my way to doing that. That's 2 days worth of reading. Ish. Like most of 2 days worth of reading. So I am very happy with that. I really like this. This is Indira, and this is Indira's story, who is a friend of Harper from the first book. The first book is A Brush with Love, and then Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake. She's one of the, like, so Indira, Harper, and Lizzie are all friends. There is another friend, but I don't think there's a book for her. I think she's just there. Her name's Thu, and I don't think there's actually a book for her. So, but this is about Indira, who is their friend, and she walks in on her boyfriend, who is basically all over another woman. And she's like, cool, so I'm leaving. And so she grabs all her crap, or most of her crap, and her cat, and goes to stay with her brother. And who is at her brother's but her brother's best friend, who is also her nemesis. They've never liked each other, like, growing up. And of course they're going to end up falling for each other. And he is back from a thing. It's kind of almost kind of like Doctors Without Borders, where so she's a psychiatrist. Her brother and her brother's fiance, who is soon to be husband, are both anaesthetists. And what's his character's name? That's terrible. Jude. I've literally just finished reading this book not 5 minutes ago. And Jude is an emergency surgeon. And it's like an emergency trauma surgeon. And he works as part of this, to get a scholarship. He works as part of this, so he goes to, like, places that are war-torn. So he's been to, like, Syria and Ukraine and Lebanon and all these places that are currently in, like, horrible civil wars and having famines and just in these horrible conditions. And they help and try and help in some ways. And he's come back for the wedding, and he is suffering from really bad PTSD, but he doesn't want anybody to know. But of course she is a psychiatrist and is very hard-headed and notices that there is something wrong and will not let it go. But her ex-boyfriend is also her brother's fiance's cousin and is in the wedding party. And so, to not look like a pathetic idiot, they decide to fake date, and that turns very quickly into real dating. So yeah, they end up kind of together, but it's dealing a lot. It's heavy. A lot of it is to do with PTSD, and she has a lot of issues to do with the fact that her dad left when she was 8 years old as well. And there's an author's note on the back to say that Maisie Eddings was fairly horrendously abused as a teenager, and so was diagnosed and suffered greatly with PTSD, and it all kind of came like just out in this book. And so this was her sort of cathartic, like, therapy of, like, PTSD. And so that all sort of came out in this. Similar with, she's got ADHD, and all of her ADHD kind of like onto Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake. So yeah, I always find it really, I was going to say nice, that's not the right word for things like this, but when an author has experience of something and they put that into a book, it just elevates the book to a different level, and just puts that experience, like, you're never going to be able to show something the same way if you don't have first-hand experience with it. And so I really, really respect Maisie for putting that experience into this book, because, there's a bit that makes me so angry in this book. So angry. I'm so mad. Oh, right, okay. There's a bit where he has to go in front of a panel and basically prove that he's got PTSD. And it's a panel of doctors, and they make him prove that he's got PTSD and it's not just a hazard of the job. It's like these things I've been seeing where like people are trying to say that teachers in the US that getting the potential for getting shot is just a hazard of the job. Like, but yeah, like he has to go up in front of a panel and sort of like prove that seeing all of these horrendous things aren't just like, it's just part of your job, that it actually like has badly affected him and given him this PTSD, because some of the things like he's seen people who've been, blown up by bombs and shrapnel, and like he's seen wounds infected. That's one of the things he said. He's seen the worst that humanity can do to each other, and that has severely affected them. Like he's not seen, although it is horrendous, like he's seen, like the things he's seen aren't like car accidents and people who've like broken a bone and things that you see in clinic, which are bad enough as it is, like stuff that you see in hospitals here when, somebody falls down the stairs and breaks their leg or trips and falls or has a car accident, which again, bad enough as it is, you still get doctors who struggle when they see things like that. But he is in war-torn areas where people are inflicting these things on each other, and you see the worst of humanity, and you see the things that humans can do to each other, and you're working in conditions where you don't have anaesthetic, you don't have painkillers, you don't have the materials you need to keep the place sanitary or safe, or to do what you need to do properly, and you're working with what you've got. And that has had a serious effect on his mental health, because he's looking at these patients and he knows that what he is doing for them is everything he can, but it's not his best, and it's, and these people are just like, yeah, and that's the job, and what of it? And he's like, how can you sit there and just brush that off? Like, where is your humanity? And oh my god, it made me so mad. It really, really did, because it is an invisible illness, it's an invisible disability, an invisible, like, you can't, and the way, like, it describes the PTSD and the way that the layering of the scenario, so, like, somebody drops something, and it sounds like, it sets him off, like, the sound of guns, because he was, like, again, in war-torn countries, and it just... And, like, it overlaid in his head, like, because you see it from his point of view as well, so it overlaid, he wasn't where he was anymore, he was back, I think it was, like, Syria or something, like, he was back in Syria, in the tent, with people shooting outside. He wasn't there anymore. And I've experienced that. I had a very, very brief bout of those symptoms. I don't think I would call it PTSD. I don't know what I would call it, but like I had a very, very brief bout of symptoms like that after I had my car accident. Because someone hit my car while I wasn't driving technically, I was at a standstill, but you know what I mean, like I was in the car going somewhere and I stopped because I had to stop, because it was a place at which I needed to be stationary in my car, and the van behind me was like, I don't care if you're stationary, I'm gonna keep going. And so, like, I got hit by a van while I was stationary and almost got hit into oncoming traffic, because it was like not a one way, but like, so it was like a bridge that can only take one set of traffic at a time, and the priority was for the traffic coming towards me. And since there was traffic coming towards me on the bridge, I stopped, and I had enough time to stop, take my foot off, like, put my car into neutral, take my foot off the clutch, and, like, totally stop and sit back, because I kind of, like, sit up a bit, so, like, relax back, and totally relax my body, which saved me a lot of issues, like, totally, and this van just, boom, and the fact that I wasn't expecting it probably saved me a lot of issues. And unfortunately, that was my route to work. And the thing is, this was also in a 20 zone or 30 zone, and this van hit me at much, much faster than that. He was speeding. He did not have insurance. He got in a lot of trouble. Can I just say, he got in a lot of trouble for that. He also gave me false details. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But yeah, that was on my route to work when I used to live, where I lived before I lived here. And once I was back to being able to drive again, every time I drove that route, if I had to slow down or stop at that bridge, I would have a flashback. And I would actually find myself like jerking, like I'd been hit again. I wasn't there anymore. And sometimes it would happen at like traffic lights. I'd be stopping totally random places at traffic lights, and if a white van came up behind me, I would have a flashback, and I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be able to see, like, it wasn't what was in front of me. Like, if I was at traffic lights and a white van came up behind me, suddenly it wasn't the traffic lights that were in front of me, it was the bridge. I wasn't there anymore. And that's exactly what happens to him. And it's just like, I feel like there are some things you can't understand unless you experience them, and Maisie Eddings has really put that into her book, like the PTSD in this, like the way he shuts down as well, like the way he just totally, he changes, like on a dime, like he'll be totally normal, he'll be happy, he'll be fine, he'll just be himself, he'll be so happy, and then someone will say to him, it's like, oh, so do you know when you're going, like, do you know where you're going next? And he totally shuts down. And he becomes robotic. He goes through the motions of, like, small talk. And they're like, whoa, what just happened? Like, everybody around him's like, whoa, what just happened? And he thinks he looks normal. He thinks that, like, his brain is like, oh, right, we're doing the motions. But everybody else around him is like, that's not normal. No, I just did it in my book. It's fine. I just caught the paint on my sprayed edges there, which is funny, not funny haha, but funny, like, you know what I mean, because one of my mum's friends used to have, I don't know if she still does, but she used to have absence seizures, and I think they're petit mal seizures. I know them as absence seizures, and they are different from the grand mal seizures. The grand mal seizures are the ones where you're doing the ones you'd recognise as like epileptic seizures, where your body's like doing the shaking and stuff. But I think they're called petit mal seizures. Again, I know them as absence seizures, where you glaze over. But that's not the only thing that happens. Some people, I don't know if it's all people, but some people at least, go through repetitive motions. They go like on a loop. It's like they glitch and they go on a loop. And what she used to do is she used to go like this and like put her hand through her hair. She'd be totally like glazed over and just putting her hand through her hair, constantly, like on a loop, on repeat, like she was glitching. And all she remembers thinking is, in her head, is, if I do this, people will think I'm normal, like that nothing's wrong, that it's normal. And that's kind of like what his brain was doing. It's so fascinating. Like, it's so, the way she's like just put so much thought into this. I really appreciate it. I think this is the best of her books. I think, see, the thing is, I don't know, because for me, Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake was just so chaotic. But I don't know if that's just so representative of the fact that Lizzie was so chaotic because she has ADHD. And I just struggled with that, like, chaos. And it was like a chaotic situation, so I don't know if that's like, the writing was so good, that the representation was so good, that I then struggled with it. Like, is that anything? But yeah, this was really good. I really enjoyed this. I didn't realise these were all companion novels. It took me, like, I think that, again, because I didn't realise Lizzie was linked in that way, until, like, most of the way through. If I'd realised, I probably would have, like, anyway. But yeah, so that's 302 pages down? 302 pages down. 1,100 65 to go. If I'm right, that's excellent maths. So I will keep you updated. 7 days to read that many pages. So I'll speak to you later. Hello, it is Wednesday, and this is not Hamish. Kay and I are on our way to the vets because we found a dog. We were coming back from Costa, and well, Clyde here. Say hi, Clyde. Well, Clyde here was on the road. So we stopped and grabbed him. And there was 2 girls coming home from school, and one of them managed to grab him because I was not fast enough. He's very, very friendly, very, very nice, but he was just like too excited. So he got away from me, and the 2 girls were like, "Is that your dog?" And I was like, "No, not my dog." But he's not supposed to be out here, obviously. So one of them got a hold of him, and so now we're going to take him to the vet. He's got a little thing on, but it's not got a phone number or anything on it. Like, we've got our address, and like Hamish doesn't have his name on his. It has his address, and it has both of our phone numbers on it. It does not have a name on it. His has a name on it, and it's obviously like an IRFD tag. We don't have any tech to scan that, so we're away to the vets to get him scanned to find out where he comes from, so we can get him back home. But yeah, so hopefully we can get him home soon. Yeah, we just nipped home to get him a little thing so that we can secure him to the car, like a little thing that goes in the seat belt thing. We've got a lead to get him into the vets, and I really needed to pee. So yeah, that's what we're up to right now, which is just like that's an afternoon, eh, Clyde? Don't worry, Bob will get you home, won't we? He's just like, oh, I know, sweetheart. I know, sweetheart. He's like, I don't know what's going on. No. Hello, sweetheart. We will get him home. We will get him home. Hello, we're back home. Clyde is also back home. Excuse me, I've been scratching my chest. We went to the vet and got his chip scanned, and when we got out the car at the vet, he walked out the car. I was like, well, he knows how to do cars. And we got, like, he saw the vet, and he saw the building, and he went, like, he bolted right towards it, and I was like, I think he's registered here because he knows where he's going. Turns out he was registered there, but she scanned his chip, and turns out, when you scan your dog's chip, it doesn't tell you, like, it doesn't come up saying, like, this is Clyde, his owner is so-and-so, at this address with this phone number. No, you need to put the chip number into a database, and that database will tell you the number, and you can't just, like, there's no just, like, you have to go find the database, which is really annoying. So she's trying to, like, find the database with all the details in it. And I was like, I think he's registered here because he came, like, straight here. He knew where he was going. So, yeah, turns out he is registered here, but the owners recently had to get another chip, which I'll get to later. So I'm in the process of, like, posting on Facebook, being like, we're at the vet, like, getting his chip scanned. If, like, this is your dog, by the way. And then, like, the vet receptionist comes down, like, we'll put him on our Facebook as well. Like, the other receptionist, so she comes around, she's trying to get a photo of him, and I've, like, posted on Facebook. So I post on Facebook, and then, like, I'm chatting away, and the phone goes. So she answered it, and she's like, oh, right, is it Clyde? And we're like, oh. She's like, what colour is it? No, she was, what colour is it? And I was like, brown? Like, looking at him. I didn't realise she was on the phone. And she was like, oh, is it Clyde? And I was like, oh, it's his owners. She was like, yeah, no, two women have been looking after him. And she was like, right, yeah, no problem, blah, blah. And then she was like, yeah, apparently her husband's on the way to come and pick him up. And then the husband drove into the, like, he was already on the way. But apparently they'd seen, so she'd posted on Facebook, on the same Facebook group, 3 minutes after I posted my post, like, looking for a dog. And so somebody had, like, been like, oh, like, so people had been tagging her in my post. Somebody had tagged, had, like, taken a screenshot of my post and sent it to her to be like, here's your dog. But, like, the way she posted was like, someone said they saw my dog get picked up by 2 women in a car. And it's like, way to make it sound like we kidnapped your dog. Like, I was, like, standing in the street, like, looking around, like, trying to see if there was anybody looking for this dog. Given it, like, he's not, like, looking at his thing, like, trying to find a tag on his thing, being like, he's not got, like, Hamish has got a round thing, I'm not going to show you it because it's got our details on it. So, Hamish has got this round coin tag. It's quite a sizable coin tag. And on one side, it has
both mine and Kay's phone numbers, and then on the other side it has our full address. Well, it has, sorry, our surname and our door number and our postcode. So he can find his way home. Like, if he's got his, like, if he's out with his collar on, he will be able to get home, because you can just put our postcode and our house number into Google Maps. It will bring you here, or you can phone one of the two numbers on and you will get a hold of us. Unfortunately, all Clyde had was a little tag that said Clyde. That is all he had. So otherwise we could have just taken him straight home. It turns out, so then the husband comes and Clyde just like immediately was like, "Woohoo, Dad!" And he's just like, so yeah, Clyde got home, and like they were chatting away when he was like, "Oh yeah, we're at this address." And we're like, "Oh, we're at this address." Turns out he was literally across the street from his house. Like, his house was right there. Now this is a story in, like, this is a cautionary tale, because two things. One, he was right outside his own house, and we managed to, not only me and those two girls that helped me, catch him without anybody stopping us and take him. And two, a neighbour did in fact see us take him and nobody did anything. If that had been a child, like, come on people, like, actually say something. But yeah, so yeah, turns out it was only across the street from his own house. Not that I would have left him there anyway, but like, it's nice to know that if we see Clyde again, we can be like, "Ah, yeah, we know where you're going." So yeah, Clyde got home, and we drove, because there was a woman like standing outside the house waving to us as we went past, and I was just like, "Who's that? Should we turn around and speak to them?" Like, but yeah, that was Clyde's house. So yeah, we had no idea. But that's fine. So yeah, we're home now. Clyde's home. It's all good. He was fine. He just had a little adventure. But yeah, tag your dogs and your cats, just in case, you know. Sorry, I forgot to say. I said I'd tell you in a second, but I didn't. And yeah, so it turns out the vets had to get a new chip. Not the vets. The owners had to get a new chip, and they hadn't updated the chip number at the vet. So when the vet put the chip number into their database, it didn't come up with the owner's details because they hadn't updated the chip number with the vets. So that's how it got a little bit confusing. So the Facebook post was the one that got Clyde home rather than the chip, because the owners had forgotten to update the chip. So the receptionist was like, "While I've got you, come here, let's update this chip just in case this happens again." And then she looked at Clyde and she was like, "Not that I think you should be doing this again." But yeah, it's fine. He's home. It's all good. We're all good. So I'm going to go jump in the shower while my painkillers and Red Bull are still in my system, and the adrenaline high is like keeping me going from getting Clyde home, and then I can crash and read. So here I am in full gremlin mode, in my jammies, in my Hamilton hoodie, with my hair up in a thing, glasses on, just like in full like editing gremlin mode, because this TBR is in like, I've got like sections of videos that I need to like intersperse. You'll see when you see it. You'll see it before you see this. But like, I've had to like sit and edit. I've been sitting editing for like 2-3 hours. 2 hours-ish. And I'm like in full, like I say, in full gremlin mode. I've got jammies on. Like, not... Anyway. And somebody knocks on the door and I'm like, "Oh, it'll probably be like a delivery or something." Nope, it was one of the owners from yesterday, Clyde's mum. She come to the door with a bottle of pink Prosecco and a box of chocolates for us, which is so nice. Like, she didn't need to do that. Like, that's obviously so sweet, but I'm just saying, like, I look like a gremlin. And then, talking to gremlins, here she comes thump, 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 down the stairs. And she's just like saying thank you and everything. It's like, I'm still absolutely mortified that it was only across the road. But yeah, just like, great. Like, but yeah, I said to her as well, I was like, yeah, I was checking his, like, when we managed to get hold of him, I checked his collar to see if he had like a phone number that I could phone. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking we should probably get a collar, like a little thing on his collar that has our numbers on it." It's like, yeah. I think there's actually legislation in Scotland, or I don't know if it's UK-wide or Scotland, that you have to have certain details on your dog's collar.
So, but you know, but it just makes it so much easier. Like if somebody, like I say, if somebody finds Hamish, they can bring him straight to our door because our address is on there, or they can phone us and like either one of us, both of us, because both of our numbers are on there, and be like, "Find your dog." Maybe don't like if you ever find somebody's dog, don't phone them and be like, "I have your dog," because that sounds really like freaky. Just be like, "I found your dog, by the way. Like, if your dog's missing, I found your dog. Would you like to come and collect him, or would you like me to bring your dog to you?" But yeah, so she's gonna change his little tag so that he's got some details on there so that it's easier if he ever slips out again. Barley's quite wily. She said it's the first time he's ever escaped, but it's not the first time he's tried. So I feel like it was only a matter of time. But he's a cockapoo. So like I don't know about Cocker Spaniels, but I know like Doodles in general are quite like, well, Spaniels as well, I suppose. Like Kay's mum and dad have like a poodle Springer Spaniel cross, and she's quite wily as well. Like they're really like, they're like fluids. They're like a fluid. It's like, you know those things, those rubber thingies that are filled with water that is like trying to hold onto like a bag full of water. That's what those dogs are like. They're so like flexible and like they can get into like really small spaces and stuff. Like they're so like, if there's a small gap that they can get through, they will get through it. Like, and that's what they've always managed to catch him before he's done it before. Like they've noticed. But she said he was in the house and she went to bring the bin in, and he was in the like she left him in the house with her husband while she went to take the bin in, and then when she went back in the house, he wasn't there. So yeah, she came out to find him about 5 minutes after we left with him to take him to the vet to get him scanned. So yeah, he had his little 15 minutes of freedom, as she said, but it's all good. He didn't get harmed. He got home fine. You know, as she said, it gave her a little bit of hope for humanity. Hope. I can't remember exactly what she said. Basically, the fact that like we found him and like took him to the vet and like tried to find his home and stuff. Like because obviously like she's grateful, and like the fact that shows that there are still people out there who are willing to help animals and help other people and stuff. So yeah, because yeah, I would be absolutely beside myself if that was Hamish. So I totally get that. You know, the idea, and as well like the idea that somebody's, and then your neighbour's going, "Oh yeah, I saw somebody pick them up in the car." But apparently our neighbour wasn't outside, at least he just saw us on the cameras, but he didn't get out in time to be like, "Oh, that's..." Apparently he said he didn't think it was the neighbour, like he didn't realise it was Clyde, so he didn't say anything. He thought it was, because he was like, "Oh yeah, Clyde never gets out on his own." So, but yeah, it's fine, it's all good, like, it's all good. Clyde got home, he's safe, he's unharmed, it's all good. All's well that ends well. But this is why I always have a lead in my car. Everybody always laughs at me when I have a dog lead in my car, but this is why. It's funny though, because we took Kay's car, so we didn't have a lead in the car, but we were on our own street, so we just popped by the house and grabbed a lead. So, and he didn't try and run away from us, and he was small enough to pick up, so we just picked him up and put him in the car. So that was fine. But this is why I always carry a dog lead, just in case. And I use the like extendable lead, which we don't use the extendable lead with Hamish, because after getting an extendable lead, we discovered that extendable leads aren't great, especially, and he doesn't utilise, he doesn't like to like run off and stuff. He just sits by your so there's no use of having an extendable lead. But it's the kind of extendable lead where I can loop over the little, like I can loop it over and use it as a slip lead if the dog doesn't have a collar. So like say Clyde didn't have a collar and I didn't have anything to like keep hold of him by, and he wasn't small enough to lift, I could have used an extendable lead, hooked the thing over and like hooked it onto the string. So like, I'm really bad at explaining things. So say this is the lead and I've got the hook here. I could hook the hook round and use it like a slip lead and put it on the dog. So that's why I keep it in the car, just in case I ever come across a dog that's loose and I need to get it. Because I'm very, like, if it was Hamish, I would want somebody to to catch him and take him to the vet. So I always have something on hand to do it for other dogs. Anyway, it is publication day for Unsteady. I know I got this 2 days ago, but today's the official publication day, 25th of April, publication day in the UK. So happy publication day to Peyton Corinne. I'm so happy for her that she's got this published. It's also, I think, publication day in New Zealand. So, yeah. I'm very excited about that. I do want to try and take like an Insta photo, but I don't know whether to like have it like with other authors, or like do I want to pull some authors to put beside it? I don't know. I'm not figuring out how I want to do it, but I want to put an Instagram photo up for it because I'm just really excited for her. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go. That was just it. Thought I'd let you know that was really nice that she popped by, and like we didn't expect anything. We didn't do it obviously expecting anything. It was just. But that's really kind of her and really nice. And yeah, sometimes people don't suck. And usually those people have animals. Or love animals. Is the takeaway of today. Hello, this is a newish angle for you to spice things up a little bit. I not do this on purpose. Well, kind of, my phone is charging and the cable's over here, so this is where we're setting up. And apparently, I needed to tell you this now instead of waiting for another time. Well, I mean, technically I did because otherwise I'll forget. But also, like, this isn't necessarily information that you need, but like, I'm an oversharer, and I'm trying to be better at like being, I don't know, like a health advocate or whatever. I don't know. I want to be open about my health issues to try and stop people feeling like they should hide health issues, because one, they're not shameful, two, they shouldn't be taboo, and three, like, you should be like going to your doctors and stuff about health issues. So yeah, that's basically that. But so remember, we've talked about it multiple times now. So remember that rash that I had, the one that was like on my face and stuff, and like all of my back, and it was everywhere. It got down to my feet. Like it started on my face and then made its way down to my feet. It was everywhere. And the doctor decided they thought it was something called pityriasis rosacea. And they said to me that was my immune system basically like freaking out about something and attacking me. But there's very little information online about pityriasis rosacea, and it doesn't really tell you what it is. Like what the doctor told me and what I can find online, two very different things. So very confusing. But I'm going to go with what the doctor's telling me, you know. And so they decided to treat that with steroid creams. I had one for my face and neck, one for the rest of my skin, because the type of skin can take different strengths of steroids, and I had stuff for my hair, but my scalp, because you can't get cream to your skin. It's just really, so it's like a liquid stuff. And I have phenylphexidine, which is an antihistamine to stop the itchiness. And so that's what the regime was. We'd do that for a week, take a week's break. If it still flared up, we'd do it, blah, blah, blah. And so I've been on that cycle for about a month now, and it has not improved. So I contacted the doctor, and I was like, just to update you, like, I didn't know it had been a month. Time has just been zooming by for me. I've been not very well. I thought I had a sinus infection. Like, I was pretty sure I had like a sinus infection, stuff like that. I've not been very well. You've seen it, I've not been great, right? So I contacted the doctor thinking, oh, it's been like a couple of weeks now and it's not been working. It's been a month, Andy. It's been a month since you've seen the doctor. So I was like, just to let you know, like, it's not really gone away. And so the doctor called me today and he was like, right, so it's not gone away. And I was like, no. And he was like, okay. He was like, I'm not 100% convinced this is what it is now. He was like, I might be, and it's just taking its time going away. But I'm now concerned it might be vasculitis, which is an infection in your blood vessels, like in your blood and your blood vessels, and it like thickens your blood vessel walls and stuff like that. And I was like, right, okay, so. And he was like, I'm concerned because that can affect your kidneys, and like stuff like that. And I was like, right, okay, that's fine.
So he wants me to go in for bloods on Monday, and he said we'll go from there, like we'll get the blood results, and if it's showing vasculitis infection, we'll deal with that. If it's not, I'm going to refer you to dermatology because obviously something else is going on. And so that's where we left it. But I googled vasculitis, and the symptoms that I thought were, or I think are the sinus infection, are also symptoms of vasculitis. So it's very possible that it could be vasculitis. But we'll find out when we get the bloods back. Knowing my luck, it'll be negative, and it'll just be like, well, we still don't know what it is. Knowing my luck. But yeah, so that's the plan. But yeah, I'm feeling rough still. Still really don't feel well. And yeah, but he's worried because vasculitis can affect your kidneys and stuff. And obviously we don't want that. But like some of the symptoms I've been having that I also thought were the diplomat, because I've been getting like my fingers and toes have been getting really bad pins and needles, are symptoms of vasculitis. The weird tingling and pins and needles that I've had are symptoms of vasculitis. The cough and stuff that I've had, I was having that really bad coughing, symptom of vasculitis. There's other things as well, are all symptoms of vasculitis. But again, they're also overlap symptoms with other things. So it's totally possible that it could be a number of things. So here we go back on the train of trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I'm thankful that he's like immediately like, okay, we need to figure this out. So thank you to the doctor for taking it seriously, because that is what we need right now. Then just to add insult to injury, there was a little patch on my arm, just on the inside of my arm there, and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, it looks like a patch of this psoriasis. So I was like putting the steroid cream on it and stuff, and it was just dark, like really dark, and I was like, this doesn't really look like I was like, or I was assuming that I'm referring to as psoriasis, like the rash. I was like, it's actually getting darker. It doesn't look like psoriasis anymore. Like it doesn't look like the rash I had. It's getting bigger rather than like going away. And so I was like, I wonder if it's maybe a fungal infection, because it's also really round. Like it's really I thought maybe it was a little fungal infection. So I was Googling, and I was like, oh yeah, like it looks, because Kay said yesterday, she was like, it looks like a bullseye. And I was like, yeah. And immediately my brain went to Lyme disease, but that's a totally very specific bullseye. But obviously someone says bullseye, you think Lyme disease is a fungal infection. And I was like, yeah, but fungal infections are round, they're circular, because fungus starts in the middle and works its way out. So I was like, I think it's like a fungal infection in my skin. And steroids do lower your immunity to things like fungal infections. So using steroid creams so much on my skin has lowered my skin's natural immunity and made it more vulnerable to a fungal infection. And so I was like, I think I've got ringworm. I think I've got a little ringworm infection on my skin, on my arm. And ringworm is not a worm. I don't know why. I think somebody thought it was a worm. Don't know why they think it's a worm, because it's, again, round, not worm shaped. And I was like, I think I've got a little fungal infection, ringworm, on my arm. So I was like, stuck it into the NHS thing, and it was like pharmacy. I was like, cool. I suddenly went down to the pharmacy, and I was like, this is what I think's happened. Would I be able to speak to the pharmacist? And she was like, yeah, okay. She was like, she's just popped out to grab something, and she'll just be back in a second. I was like, okay. Sat down. Pharmacist came out, and she was like, and you come. So I went and sat down, showed her the thing, and she was like, oh yeah, that's definitely ringworm. And I'd said to her about the steroids and stuff. She was like, yeah, the steroid cream on your skin will lower your skin's ability to fight off any infections like that. And you've got like our bodies constantly have, our skin has funguses and bacteria and stuff living on it all the time, and we just have this natural immunity to it because it lives on us all the time. And so when something happens to lower that immunity, so that's how cuts and stuff get infected. It's not bacteria that comes in from somewhere else. It's bacteria living on your skin that gets into that cut that then causes the infection. So this is basically like the fungal version of that. Like, the steroids have killed, or the steroids have affected the bit of skin in the area, and the fungus has been able to get in. And so, like, she's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, definitely, like, that's pretty, like, standard practice for that makes perfect sense, what you're saying, and what I'm looking at. So, she went and grabbed me a little antifungal cream, and I have to put that on 2 to 3 times a day for a month. So, woo. So I've got to do that for a month as well, which is great. So I'm just falling apart. I feel like crap. I've had to cancel my tattoo removal appointment. I phoned them and they agreed that it was the best course to not have any appointments until we know what we're dealing with, because the laser treatment can, like, it's not... They're really particular about, like, medications and stuff, and if you're, like, with this, because it's potentially a blood infection or potentially an immune response, either of those things they don't want to mess with the laser, because it's your lymphatic system and your immune system that's doing all the heavy lifting after the laser's gone in, and so they do not want to mess with that. So she said, like, absolutely, like, don't think you should be getting it done. And also, like, I've got a tattoo touch-up appointment that I need to go to that I've not been able to book yet, because they're also, like, agreeing that shouldn't be getting that done when I'm still ill. So I need to wait until this is all fixed before I can get my tattoo appointment to touch up my side duct or to get my tattoo removal done. So yeah, I'm just in limbo at the moment. I think luckily I can still go to, like, my hairdresser appointment, and I'll be going to Nickelback if they have to take me in a stretcher. So that will be happening. Hopefully my blood tests come back and we can start. Thing is though, if it is that was another thing. The vasculitis, I was going to say, if it is vasculitis, it's a steroid treatment for that. Like, it'll probably be oral steroids, so I'll get swole. It's not that kind of steroids, that was just a joke. If it is vasculitis, when I was looking at vasculitis online, it was saying that it is most prevalent in middle-aged people. So I don't know if that's, like, the Grim Reaper over my shoulder being like, just know you're halfway there, or what. But yeah, so that's my info dump about my health. So yeah, if something's up, go to your doctors. Push. Like, I ended up having to go to A&E and everything about this, and, you know, I potentially got, there's a potential that I've got some kind of blood infection. Like, we don't know what's going on yet still. But luckily I've got a doctor who's actually looking into it, so that is the bonus. But I'm going to go watch this YouTube video and then read, because I've got 2.5 books to read. 3.5 if I want to, like, do my stretch goal. So, see you later. I did it. I finished Walking on Sunshine. I only cried several times. This book was so... I don't even know. It's about 3 friends, and so there's Mike, Vicky, and Zaza, and they have a 4th friend, so there's another one, Pia, which is really funny because one of my friends is called Pia, and obviously one of my other friends is called Vicky, and Pia is married to Mike, but all 4 of them are friends in uni, and before the book starts, Pia dies of cancer, and when she was diagnosed and sort of found out that she wasn't going to survive, she decided she was going to make the most of the life that she had left, and so her and Mike would go off on trips and go around the world and do things, and she made these rules of things that he would have to do after she died, and one of the things that came up was, like, so long after she died, Zaza, Vicky and Mike would have to go through her things and get rid of our things from the house. And while they were there, they found this note, he was at her parents' place getting pictures, and he was showing them to the guys when they were over, and he found a note that said, "Death rule, just do it, just go." And that was one of her things, like, when they wanted to go somewhere, when she wanted to go somewhere, when she was dying, they just did it. Literally, she had, like, a grab bag, and they'd just go. They would just book a flight and go. And so they decided to do that, just go somewhere. But they couldn't just, like, literally drop all the responsibilities. They had jobs, Vicky had kids, like, they couldn't just drop everything. So they were like, right, okay, how about we go in 3 months? And they were like, right, okay, let's do it. So they decided to do a trek through the Peruvian for it, like, to Machu Picchu, and it was just going to be them and their guides, and it was, like, up so high that they were struggling with the altitude, and it was, like, a really hard trek, and, like, they were in tears, and they were struggling, and they were, like, conscious realizations about themselves, and just the whole thing was really, really traumatic, and, like, that sort of, like, guts you out sort of way and rebuilds you. And the whole time, like, they're dealing with this loss. Like, it's been months, but grief never really doesn't really leave you. It just kind of, the gaps kind of get wider, almost. Yeah, so this was written by G. She works a lot with Copperfield, who are a breast cancer charity, and Chris, she was the founder, or one of the founders of Copperfield, and she unfortunately died. And G was really good friends with her, and obviously that hit her and all of her other friends like a ton of bricks. And this book was kind of, I suppose, must have been G's, like, outlet for that grief, or one of her outlets for that grief. And so you kind of feel that throughout the book, and I definitely felt very real to how I feel about, or like the feelings that I've felt from losing my friend in a similar way. So yeah, this book was really hard, but also was the book for my Tomes and Treasures, for a book that would make me cry. So well done. I'm even going now just thinking about it, so I'm going to go and read something that's less, dramatic. I'm going to take a little break from reading. Maybe get myself a cup of tea. I was going to say in a snack, but I've just had my dinner, and I'm still, like, really full from my dinner, but I feel like comfort eating, like, a sweet or something, like a chocolate or something. But I'm just going to get, like, a cup of tea or something. Let him shout for his wee-wees and decompress a little bit before I start my next book. I think my next book will probably be Funny Story by Emily Henry. And then I've got to also read Poison Study. And then I want to try and squeeze in How to Solve a Murder. Those are my hopefuls for, I was going to say this weekend. There's no way. Well, I possibly could read them all this weekend. But as long as I can read them by the end of the month. That's 3 weeks. As long as I can read at least Poison Study and Funny Story by the end of the month, I will be happy. How to Solve a Murder is like a cherry on top, so here's hoping. It's like 700 odd pages. I need to read, say 800 pages, like, it's 700 odd pages to read, so here's hoping in 4 days, 5 days if you count today, so it's like 159 pages a day, so I think I can manage that. I think it'll be good. I'll keep you updated. Good afternoon, it is Sunday. It is 1:45. I feel like absolute garbage. I've woken up this morning and I've got, you won't be able to see it on camera, but I've got like loads of blotches of my lovely rash back all over my arms and stuff. There's a whole big patch down here that I noticed this morning, which is what made me actually start looking for it, and I've got patches all down my arms and stuff fun times. I woke up and I was so itchy again because normally I have my fix of Enidine first thing in the morning, so like my body's used to getting it at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So obviously it's like out of my system completely. So yeah, I woke up really itchy. I'm covered in like, I think you can see like, I don't know if you can see it properly, but like see where it's red? This bit, this little patch here. Like these blotchy bits. Basically I've got random blotches all over my body. And it's just horrible. I think I already said that the doctor's now thinking it's possibly vasculitis, which is fun. And so I'm going for some blood tests tomorrow to see if it's vasculitis, and if not, I'm getting sent to dermatology for them to figure out what's going on. I don't know if dermatology would be the right place. I'm assuming the tests will come up telling them if it's something autoimmune. I think it must be, surely. I don't know. This is way beyond my comprehension. We have surpassed my level of comprehension of health stuff. So, yeah, but I feel like absolute crap. My body is just absolutely kicking my ass right now, so yay, fun times. So, I'm so glad I said no to going on sprints today, because I just had this feeling that I was going to wake up feeling absolutely horrendous today. And I was right. I think possibly as well because I knew I was going to go on sprints yesterday, and I knew sprints was going to go until like midnight. And I always feel rough after long sprints. So like, I knew if I committed to sprints today, I was going to feel rough after sprints yesterday. And then, you know, I could have pushed myself to do sprints, but it would have been a bad idea. So I'm in the comments. I've just had some toast and made myself another cup of tea. But yesterday, through sprints, I did finish the entirety of Funny Story by Emily Henry. I ended up giving it a 5-star because in my heart it was 5 stars. Objectively, it's not my favourite Emily Henry. That's still Happy Place. But did I like this more than Book Lovers? I don't know. It's kind of maybe on par with Book Lover. There's my alarm going off for sprints. Kind of on par with Book Lover. It's totally different. Everything that Emily Henry writes, I feel she's exploring more varied topics. Like she's getting off the like just romance trail, and she's kind of exploring other topics, which I really enjoy. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I absolutely loved it. I loved the characters. I got to a point where I was like, this male main character's really pissed me off. And Meg was like, oh no. I need to read this now. Like, I need to like get to this point. And then she voice noted me and she was like, yeah, now he's pissed me off as well. And I was like, there we go. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I'm really happy that I picked up and read it. Now, all I need to do is read Poison Study, which is what you're leaning against. And I finished my TBR. If I can then read another book, I will have gotten my total TBR down by 1. Even though I've read like, oh god, it's so, like with the add-in books and taken away and stuff like that, it's like jangled, like jiggery pokery. But my aim is just to get Poison Study finished. If I end up even, it's fine. If I end up gaining TBR, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But like the competitive side of me wants to like reduce it. But sprint's about to end, so I'm gonna go. But aim for today, get Poison Study started and get on with it for a little bit. But no, that sprint's back on. In an absolutely wild turn of events, I have managed to read 310 pages of Poison Study today. I have 100 pages left. Just the last 100 pages. It's 410 pages. I have the last 100 pages left of this book. Unfortunately, I'm not going to stay up and read the last 100 pages because it is 11 o'clock. It's actually past 11 o'clock. And I have work tomorrow morning, so I need to go to bed. But I will finish this tomorrow very easily. I've screenshotted the questions in the question thing for the read along, and I've been like adding my answers to my like pictures as I go along. I have 4 questions that I need to answer. So yeah, I have 100 pages left, 4 questions to answer. Like, that is literally... Where is it without the acknowledgement and stuff? This is how much I need to read. This is it. That's it. That's all I need to read. That's it. 100 pages. And then... Oh, you're leaning up against the books. I might actually try and read this. If I can read this, this will get my TBR down by 1. Like, my overall. So, last month, my TBR, I got it down to 62. Currently, it is still 62, despite the fact that I've taken books off my TBR, because I've also bought and gotten books in other ways, like Vicky's on hauls and stuff like that. So, like with pre-orders coming in and stuff like that, I've raised the TBR number enough that even with the number of books I've read this month, which is now 17, 18, something like that, I don't know, I can't remember, 15, 16, 17-ish books, or will be with Poison Study. My TBR is down at 62. This is a reread, so it doesn't count. So my TBR is 62, so I'm breaking even, which is fine, but I would very much like to get it, even if it's down by 1. So if I can read this, which is one of the books that Vicky has given me, I will have dropped my TBR still by 1. So it would be very satisfying to read this. Now, this is only 300 pages long. However, it is a non-fiction. I do have an audiobook out from the library that I could listen to. See, this is a non-fiction, so it's going to be... I've not read a non-fiction this month. I am behind with my non-fictions. So it'd be good to get a non-fiction on... I think I didn't read a non-fiction. Have I read a non-fiction this month? I don't remember, but I am behind with my non-fiction reading. So it'd be good to get a non-fiction in there. I would like to read another book. This is the one I brought down, because this is the one that I was feeling. This is a forensic science book, obviously. And it's kind of like anecdotal, like stories from forensic, these two people, Derek and Pauline Tremaine, who were forensic scientists. And yeah, I am very interested in reading it. So, if I can read this over the next couple of days, if I can finish this tomorrow, and then read this over Monday, Tuesday, get my TBR down by 1, that would be excellent. So that's, totally doable. But if I don't, I'll be happy to just break even. That's again, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, but I'm here just to close up the vlog. As you can see, I have showered so that I'm ready for work tomorrow. I am so tired. I'm calling it going to bed. I still need to take my painkillers before going to bed. So I'm going to do that. And then, head up and go to bed while they kick in. But today's been really rough. I don't know if I've spoken to you today or not. I think I did earlier. Today's been really rough. I woke up with really bad rash all over me again today. I get my bloods done tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I need to remember and not take one of my meds because it'll interfere with the bloods. So I'm gonna take that out just now, and then I can take it later on in the day so that it doesn't interfere with my bloods. Luckily my bloods are only in the morning, so it won't be it'll be fine. I'll be fine. So yeah, that's all sorted. Yeah, basically I'm just getting ready to go to bed because I am very sleepy. I'm a sleepy person right now. Thanks for actually watching. I appreciate everybody that watches these vlogs, even though they are unbelievably long. I'm very excited that we have I really need to get the Poison Study live show sorted. I need to make a thumbnail for that and everything. And get that all sorted. if you got this far in the video and you want to let me know what you were here, do me the skull and crossbones emoji for Poison City in the comments. Let me know if you are joining us for the Poison Study read along. The live show is on the 9th of May, so you still have time, plenty of time to read it. I've just beasted through that in one night so far. There is a Twitter, there's an announcement video that I'll link below for this. There is a Discord, there is a Twitter for you to check out for this. I have started a trigger list warning in the Discord if you want to check that out as well for this, because there are quite a few triggers. It's one of those things where it's written like a YA, but it's quite brutal, so I did want to do a trigger list for that. We have already had like a lot of people being like, wow, it's a lot more brutal than I've had some people realise it's a bit more brutal than they were expecting, so just to be aware of that. But yeah, there's still time to read this. You'll be seeing this on Tuesday, so by the time you see this, there's still like 9 days before the live show. So yeah, there's still time to read it if you want to join us. And yeah, I'm going to go to bed, so I will speak to you later, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!